Tails and Scales, The Empty Throne. Chapter 6, After Class Invasion. The party finally ends. Silvus makes his goodbyes to all the guests who were present. One by one, each guest showers him with invitations to come visit them. Wanting to be an example, he politely states with a forced smile that he will consider it as the guests leave through the entrance hall. After saying his goodbyes, he turns around in relief to see his mother Silvira standing behind him. She looks at him with a proud smile on her face, seeing how polite her son is to the guests.
Starting to become popular, I see. It is always important to maintain the support from your subjects, both the Omega and the Delta. It is very important for a Beta to keep in touch with his or her subjects. Consider it part of your first lesson,
Silvira excitedly states, waving her finger like a schoolteacher. Silvus makes a big smile and poses as if he just got another A on his test by putting his talons on the sides of his torso. His tail even starts to wag slowly as he is feeling very proud of himself from the comment made by his mother. Then he sees her expression change to a more serious one. He fixes his posture back to normal to listen with a face of confusion as he prepares to listen what she is going to say.
When your subjects begin to recognize you as the Beta, they're going to expect you to take great care of them by solving different issues.
What sort of issues? Silvus asks her. Silvira tells him to follow her to a better place to continue with the first lesson. She leads him to a dimly lighted yet spacious library. Of all the rooms of the castle, the library is personally Silvus's favorite place, where he can just read any of the books placed in the sea of shelves. Remembering his hatchlinghood, he used to run into the wonderland of knowledge to spend time reading. Now he is with his mother, lecturing him on the first lesson of being the Betalord, while sitting down on one of the two leather chairs that are placed in the middle.
As Betalord, you are to be expected to take great care of your subjects in Megalo on behalf of the Alpha King. Each day, when you sit on the throne, you will be visited by many who seek your guidance, called petitions. When you receive petitions, it is up to you how you will deal with it. But remember, whatever you decide will have an impact.
What sort of impact? Can you give me an example of a petition? Silvus asks with eagerness in his voice.
Will do.
Silvira sips some of her tea that is placed in front of them on the coffee table. Silvus gets himself comfortable and takes out parchment along with a quill pen from his carrier bag to take notes. She giggles, believing that intense note-taking is not necessary.
Let's say around 9th hour of sunrise, an Omega folk comes into your throne room to complain about bandits, petitioning you to deal with them. After the request, you will make a decision. Will you send some guards to deal with them? Will you go yourself? Or will you dare ignore the request, which puts you at risk of upsetting the petitioner? Which a Betalord or lady should not ever do. But because you are the Betalord, your choices must not violate the royal law.
So all I do is petitions? Sounds a bit easy. Silvus clarifies, sounding a bit disappointed by how boring the job sounded. His mother continues on with her lesson.
It might look easy, but don't be fooled, as doing a request for one subject might upset another. For example, one Delta requests for you to approve ownership of a farm, without knowing you just helped him or her steal property from another, tarnishing your reputation in the process. What I am saying is to be aware that many raptors, regardless of caste, are mostly out for themselves and will not hesitate to exploit you.
Silvus makes a nervous gulp in his throat, with a chill going down his spine. Even for a good listener like himself, politics is definitely another world. He needs to get used to it though, since he will be the new Betalord one day. To imagine the idea of a simple Omega using him to gain power would be a nightmare. With a yawn, Silvira looks at a window to see how dark the sky is. She must have realized that it is late by the way she gasps.
Oh dear, look at the time. I'm gonna end this lecture for the day, so I need you to get some rest.
Really, Mom? I was actually enjoying it, Silvus sounds very excited, holding his collection of papers with notes in it. His mother looks surprised that her son has not gotten bored at all. Most hatchlings of his age mostly get bored very easily, to the point they would fall asleep. But not Silvus. He shows time and time again that he has a will of steel. Are you okay, Mother? Silvus asks her with concern. Never has she stared at him so awkwardly. Breaking her gaze, she tells him it is nothing, only for her to levitate the chair behind her and sat on it. Her expression changes to concern.
Silvus, during your time in monastery, did anyone speak with you about your unique gifts?
My unique gifts? Silvus starts to get suspicious. Never has his mother asked such a question. True, he remembers that during his time in monastery, many students who knows him from his classes gave him awkward stares. Never once did they confront him about why. Then he remembers his meeting with the Tritereon. Actually, Mother, after I did my exam, the professor took me to the Tritereon, and they told me that I had some unique ability to learn mistcraft quickly like a master. Do you know about it? Silvus sits up with eagerness in his voice. His mother in front only takes a deep breath. He sees her turn her head to the side, looking up at the ceiling with the sky painted above, avoiding the chandelier at the same time. The one thing the new miscaster could figure out is that his mother knows something, yet is very hesitant. He sees her slowly looking down with her eyes closed.
In due time, I will tell you everything, but for now, you need to rest up for the next day.
His mother moves her head to him, looking very serious, even though her eyes are half opened. Silvus gets up from his chair and tells her that he understands, so he can walk out from the library to head to his bedroom. By the library entrance door, he turns his head to see his mother sitting in her chair by herself. She takes out the same pendant to gaze at it with a tear in her eye. The sight of his mother in a sorrowful state makes him worry. Not wanting to bother her, Silvus continues off to his bedroom. Silvus is still asleep despite the sunrise until a guard bursts into his room. He lifts himself up fast to see the guard by the door looking at him. The guard's expression looks as if he is being chased by a tyranno, trying to eat him. Taking a few breaths, the guard explains with a salute. First Delta, I have been ordered by your mother to collect you now. What is going on? Is she okay? Silvus demands as the guard just grabs him by the gloved claw and rushes him out of his room. As he is being dragged through the castle, Silvus can hear bells ringing in a pattern that means danger is approaching. He can even see all the drones panicking as the guards too are running out of the castle from the entrance. Rushing through the streets with the guard, Silvus sees the city folk of all castes being told by the other guards to remain in the buildings. Looking closely, he can sense fear on their faces, knowing that danger is ahead. He can even overhear some hatchlings asking their parents what is going on, looking scared. Whatever the danger is, it must be grim enough to start the panic. The guard eventually lifts Silvus up the wall above the main gates to see the crowd by the city guards with weapons ready. Silvus finds his mother standing in the middle with a staff and claw as his uncle stands to her right, wearing long-sleeved chain armor with the familiar white metal plate over it, with a blue cape around his neck. His mother Silvira stares at the pine tree countryside with a stern face, along with Orzine, ranting how he knew that certain danger was bound to happen. Lady Beta, I have collected your son as requested, the guard shouts as soon as he and Silvus get near. The guard gently pushes Silvus close to his mother, making him want to know what is going on. Mother, what is happening? He asks her. But in response, she points for him to look. He turns his head to see a massive army of raptors gathered in front, wearing the same set of armor as the guards, except the feathers on their helmets are orange, which represents the Betalord of Manchester. With a closer look, Silvus can see that they have orange Manchester flags with a black rook in the middle raised up high, along with catapults prepared deep behind the army to breach the city. Coming from the invading army is a heavily armored male raptor with an orange cape. He is assumed to be the leader of the group. The leader is followed by 7 other heavily armored raptors, who are the officers, along with a shady figure wearing black robes, keeping the hood up to hide her identity. As they all approach the main gates, some of the Magalo guards look scared due to being intimidated by how outnumbered they are compared to the massive army led by their superior, better equipped superiors.
Envar Targan, what is the meaning of this?
Silvus hears his mother shout, demanding an answer of the leading soldier, Envar Targan. Envar Targan? The Betalord of Manchester? Silvus guesses to himself. It makes sense that the leader of the invading Manchester troops is the Betalord. What is more surprising to him is that he thought Betalords or Beta Ladies are not allowed to form private armies. Silvus tries to get a closer look at the invading Betalord Targan, but his steel helmet covers his entire face. However, he can see his white-colored serpent eyes and black scales due to his legs, feet, and tail still exposed, which look kind of familiar. Silvus is so focused on Targan that he fails to notice that the hooded figure beside is examining him from a distance. The hooded figure moves towards Targan to whisper into his ear, making him nod. Targan turns his head back up at the main gate, directly at Silvira. The Alpha King's throne has been empty too long. Our fellow raptors are suffering due to the lawless savages who are taking advantage by preying on them. Yet the Tritereon does nothing. Targan speaks with a voice of authority and frustration. Silvira takes another breath and tries to counter.
I assure you, Targan, the Tritereon are still seeking a new Alpha King as we speak. As much as I want to help the raptors now, the best thing we can do is be patient. What you are doing is not the answer.
24 freaking winters we have waited. Open your eyes, Beta Lady of Magalo. You are deceived by the Tritereon, who only seek to gain power. If you can't be convinced, they have no choice but to... Targan gets interrupted by the shady figure, putting his or her claw on Targan's shoulder to get his attention once again. As Targan and the figure speak privately, Silvira turns to Silvus, placing her talons on his shoulders.
Silvus, come with me. And Orzim?
She turns her head to her brother and whispers something to him. The tone is so quiet that Silvus cannot hear what she is saying. As soon as his mother gives a guard captain an order, Silvus feels himself get dragged by her through the crowd. He does not know where his mother is taking him, but whatever it is must be important. Back in the castle, Silvus is led through the bedroom hall all the way to his mother's quarters, looking surprised. It surprises him because he remembers that his mother never allowed him nor any other family into her quarters. At first, he thought it is because of private female stuff, but with the invasion underway, his mother must think that it is the best time. His mother tells him to come inside her bedroom to be greeted by a larger-sized regal bedroom. Silvira takes him to a big bookshelf located toward the right side of the bed. She looks around the books to stop at the golden one. Silvus is going to ask what she is doing until she reaches her claw to pull the book back, making a clicking sound. The bookshelf starts to sink down into the ground, revealing an entrance to a secret room, surprising the young First Delta.
Follow me,
Silvira tells him, and motions with her claw. The mother and son walk through the tunnel all the way to a square dungeon room with a pedestal and chest in the middle. On the pedestal, there is a wrapped long object. Silvus looks around the room in amazement while his mother approaches the pedestal. The room itself has stone walls that do not match the castle. He notices a black banner with elegant silver border of the Kingdom of Avalonia hanging on the walls. He walks up to one of the banners for a closer look. The banner has a silver elegant line on the border and a silver seal that looks like a hanging plant with 6 leaves sticking out from the top. His gaze is interrupted when he feels a tap on his shoulder, making him turn to see his mother holding a strange outfit she took from the chest.
Put it on,
she tells him. Silvus takes the outfit to see that it is a black hard leather chest armor with a dark blue hooded poncho with silver linings. As much as he wants to admire it, his mother slams the staff, making sparks and getting his attention.
Quickly, son, we don't have much time.
Silvus turns around and quickly puts on the armor and poncho, feeling very comfortable. He turns around to see his mother looking at him with admiration while holding the wrapped object from the pedestal.
Vessel Atheros, the founder of Magalo, wore that same outfit during the war against Necros,
states his mother, walking up to Silvus.
But now I need you to listen to me very carefully. You must go with your uncle and cousin to Atlantra, and from there you must journey to Betalord with this.
She gives Silvus the object. He looks at the wrapped object, wondering what it is. He is going to open it, but Silvira stops him and explains.
Open it only when you head to Betalord with Arcus. You can trust him.
Who's Arcus? Why can't I open this now? Silvus asks her.
Arcus is my mentor and the Archsage of the Mystatorium. In this object, I am trusting you. It is a powerful relic that will be the key to saving Avalonia. If fallen into the wrong claws, it could also mean our doom. But right now, we must meet with your uncle.
Silvira tells Silvus to follow her out quickly. As they run into the throne room, an explosion is heard, making the castle shake below their feet. A guard captain wearing a blue cape runs from the castle entrance to them in panic. Lady Beta, the Majestians are attacking. Tarkin noticed you fled and started to attack. The guard captain gets cut off by another explosion.
Head back to the entrance and hold the line. I need to take the first Delta somewhere safe.
Silvira orders the captain, but he looked a bit worried. But, milady,
I said hold the line. That is an order.
Silvira cuts off the guard captain so loud, she slams her tail on the ground to show she is serious. The guard captain nods in understanding and heads back out, leaving only her and Silvus. They continue to up the east wing, where the war room is located. By the entrance, Silvus and Silvira spot Orzine, Eco, and a pair of guards waiting right by the fireplace, located to the north. She turns around to face Silvus as another explosion is heard, making the castle shake again.
All right, son. This is the part that we must go separate ways.
What do you mean? You're not coming with us? Silvus asks her in panic. With a tear in her eye, she explains.
As Beta Lady of Magalo, I must assist the guard at any cost. As I mentioned back in my room, you must head to Betalord and find Arcus with the object. He will help you find a way to save the kingdom.
It does not feel right for Silvus to abandon his mother. Even if it's voluntarily, she's going to face a bigger army that outnumber hers. I can't just leave you here. You will get killed, Silvus panics as another explosion is felt.
Son, it is my duty. I must protect the raptors here. You, as the heir, are too valuable to die. So I need you to go with your uncle and do as I say.
Silvus looks down at the object he is holding as more explosions are heard. He struggles in his mind to do what she is telling him. A part of him still fears for her life. At the same time, he hopes he can trust her judgment. With a tear in his eye, he hugs her with one arm to whisper, I will come back for you after the task, I promise. They break from the hug, and Silvira opens the door, allowing Silvus to run up to Orzine and the group, while Silvira watches him escape with the group through a secret escape tunnel behind the fireplace. She whispers to herself,
This is where your destiny begins. Be strong, my hatchling.
With that, she runs off to join up with the guard. Running outside eastward from the castle, Silvus is seen running along with Orzine, Eco, and 4 guards, carrying the object on his back. Silvus makes a brief stop to turn around to see Aethera from a distance. He helplessly watches his home being attacked by the Manchester army as they clash swords with the Magalo defenders and more firebombs are thrown from the catapults. It tears his heart apart at the sight, and he feels a tear come down from one of his eyes. "I will keep my word, Mother. I will do as you ask, and I will save you no matter the cost," he shouts his declaration to save his mother. He turns around to catch up with his uncle and cousin, who are now approaching for Tricia. End of chapter.